my goodness. I'm a baseball fan. Any baseball fans out here? You know what a closer is? The guy that comes in and shuts the door down on the other team, gets the save, right? Well, I guess that's my role today. I'm not the closer, and I don't get to do this that often, but I was thrilled that Gary asked me to do it today. I have, through a series of meetings with Gary, Patrick, and others over the last few months, come to know about this organization. And I'm going to tell you, in my view, there's no more important breakfast happening this week or this month, maybe this year in Hampton Roads, than this one. Let me explain why. I have some friends here, Greg Garrett and George Birdsong and Jake Maines are all involved in regional stuff. Some of the rest of you out there are as well. We always say, you know, we don't have the right name for our region, and we don't have this, and we don't have that. And I always say, why don't you just do something, and the world will know what you are, what you value. Government spends a lot of money on education. Where's the lady who just spoke from Suffolk? You were phenomenal. Thank you. I mean, I am so proud. I don't live in Suffolk, but I admire the Suffolk school system, but particularly the leadership that Suffolk took. Somebody has to listen to Gary Anderson and go, I'm sure he's probably worn out a few people. But you know something, this makes sense, right? And it's not that I got to go to the governor or my legislator or even to the city council and say, give us $11, per kid so I can have a book to put, 2 books to put in his or her hands. This is the private sector coming forward. What a concept. What a concept. That we're not just depending on the government. In government, God love, and I know I got Amelia Ross Hammonds here. Did I see her here? Where is she? Is she on? Where is she? Anyway, she's on city council in Virginia Beach, and I know many members of city council. And every year, in the springtime, every part of the city government is coming to them and pinging them on, we need more for the police. And everybody has their needs, roads, public safety, whatever it is. And then there's schools. And the state has a constitutional responsibility toward the schools, but they never get enough. And it becomes a political issue. Should we spend more? Should be more accountability and all this sort of stuff? It goes back and forth, becomes very political, and it stinks. And at the end of the day, it's the kids that need our support. But we shouldn't look at government as the source of everything. There's no more important aspect or organization in any of our communities than our public schools. We are training not just people to be lifelong learners, which is important, but we're training them for the jobs we have in our community so we can keep our economy going. That's what we're putting on them. And let me tell you something, if they cannot read, and I'm sure my folks here from Suffolk Public Schools and the other school systems do, if they can't read early and enjoy reading and get something out of reading, it's terrible. They are starting way, way behind. And we're seeing it. The scores are terrible, and COVID was awful. It made it even worse. So to be able at this period of time, Gary, with your vision and others who have picked up on it, to say, if kids love to read, the pleasure of reading, which you talked about, that's the ticket. I think that's what your superintendent said. If we can get them to love reading, okay, they're going to love all reading, whether it's Jake and Magic, or it's a textbook, or it's a fundamental document of their country or something. They're going to get something out of it. They'll get something out of history, out of fiction, out of nonfiction. Get them to love reading, and they're going to have a successful life. So, for me, being here in this room and seeing the community, real people, not just saying, we need to go call our councilman or our legislator, senator, delegate, congressperson. We need more money for fill-in-the-blank public school system. They all need more money. But when it comes from the community, let me tell you something. I was a TV reporter. Now I'm in public relations. This is a big story. This is a big story. If the world knows that Hampton Roads, and now you're already at 5 school systems, is that correct? 6? Oh yeah, 6. And trust me, depending on how you define Hampton Roads, I mean, Hampton Roads Sanitation District goes from King William County all the way down to Virginia Beach. I mean, you can have 5, 10, or 17, depending on how you define this region. But we're only talking about the south side here. We've got school systems on the peninsula and going up north, Middle Peninsula, Northern Neck, and everywhere. Suffolk, you, and Northampton, Virginia Beach, and lit a fire. Okay? This is a real story. Because, like I said, if you want people to know what a community values, what do we collectively value? Let's put our money where our mouth is. We have to pay taxes. We don't have to take our phones and scan those right there on the table. Become a book club member at $11 a month, $2.75, whatever it is for a classroom, I think Patrick told me, right? We don't have to do that. That's our choice. But when you choose something, that reflects what your values are. And when companies like Birdsong and Town Bank and others who are so philanthropic, so wonderful for our community, I'm not surprised they stepped up, and because they're just fantastic. We need a lot more companies to step up and do this, and it's not that expensive. Trust me, I'm sure my Suffolk people here will tell you $11 a kid is peanuts, right, compared to what you got to spend for peanuts. I love that. Mr. Birdsong is laughing. There it is. I'm here for you, George. The second shift starts at 11. Because it's like no strings attached. It's like, here's the books, okay? I love this. I want to be here next year to put the stickers in the books too, okay? I just love this whole feel of buying the books, they're good books, putting the stickers in them, $11. It's simple. It's so simple, okay? And when people outside of Hampton Roads, news media, government, other communities see what we're doing here, that's how you build the brand for your region. It's not whether it's 757 or Tidewater or Hampton Roads or whatever that you want to call it. That's the region that put money together from the private sector so that every kid could have 2 books a year and to build the love of reading inside of their families. That's what I want people to know about Hampton Roads. And I believe, because everybody judges school system based on these SOL scores and everything, correct? If our scores go up, and they should, and they shouldn't suffer first because they're doing every grade level in elementary schools. But then as it starts to build, and then we say, there's the ticket. That's how God knows that teachers are working hard, the principals are working hard, the school boards are tearing their hair out and everything to try to get scores up and everything. But then we went, oh my God, there's something called All District Reads. They put a book in every kid's hand, parents read to them, they instilled a love of reading. The school systems, I love this stuff with the little prizes you get for answering the trivia question. You gotta have an incentive, right, for everything. And the scores go up. Now we found something. And who found it? Hampton Roads. You folks here, I know you're not all George Birdsong and everything. God, I love it. But what you are is, and I'm sure George would agree, equally important. You are ambassadors. You are ambassadors. You all know somebody, somebody's. You can talk this up. As I said, you could be in the book club for $11 a month or something, right? Isn't that what it is, Gary? Okay, that's cheap. But you can be at higher levels. You can talk to your employers, to your friends, people at your church, at your Rotary Club. Thank God for the Rotary Clubs in here. Give a big hand to the Rotary Clubs. Everything you do about the Rotary Clubs to do this. So You need to go out, tell the story, take this literature that you have here, go to the website, tell people what it is. This is a big story, a big thing that's happening in this room. And Gary and Patrick, thank you so much for allowing me to come up today. And I just want to tell you one last thing. I did pull off some quotes here I was going to use, but one of them that really hit me, this was a obituary that was in the paper last month. A woman named Jean Marcus, Ms. Alec may even have known her. She passed away at the age of 91. And she was an avid reader and a passionate proponent of the value of reading. In fact, one of her favorite poems was Strickland Gillian's The Reading Mother, which ends with the lines, "Richer than I you can never be. I had a mother who read to me." Thank you.